Hello and welcome to today's video. Today I want to present you an opening trap that you can play in the Budapest Gambit. The trap is known as the Kieninger Trap, named after Georg Kieninger, who played it in an offhand game against Godai at Vienna in 1925. You can see the critical position already on the board. It's black to move and win white at a spot, but take your time. Before we just jump right into the tactic, I of course want to show you how to reach the position and what white should have done to avoid to get trapped. So without further ado, it's time to checkmate. So the game that we are following is a game between Issakainen and Legvold and took place in 2004. I picked this game because I wanted to show that even stronger players can fall for the trap. The game started with the moves d4, knight f6, c4, and after e5 we reached the starting position of the Budapest Gambit. Here white accepted the gambit and took the pawn on e5, and black played the move knight to g4. This is the main move in the variation and is known as the Rubinstein Variation. He could have also played knight to e4. This is known as the FIDE variation, and I will show you an opening trap in this variation in one of my later videos as well. Anyway, let's go back to the game. After knight to g4, black threatens to take the pawn on e5 back right away, so white has to defend it, and he does so by playing bishop to f4. And here black decided to play the move knight to c6, attacking the e5 pawn one more time, so again white has to defend it. And so he plays knight to f3. After black played the move bishop to b4 check, white played the move knight b to d2. I just want to mention that he could also play the move knight to c3, knight to c3, but after bishop takes c3, b takes c3, queen e7 to attack the pawn on e5 a third time, queen d5 to protect the pawn, f6, e takes f6, knight takes f6, and queen d3, we reach a position where white's probably slightly better, but on the other hand, he has some problems on his queen side, and the open f and the open e file could probably become pretty strong for black later in the game. So white's better in the moment because he's up a pawn, but black got some fighting chances, and there's still much play left, so it's not decided yet. Anyway, in the game, white decided to play the move knight b to d2, and here black played the move queen e7. So he's attacking the e5 pawn a third time, and because of the knight on d2, white cannot defend the pawn with a move like queen to d5 because the queen is blocked. So white has to accept that black will gain back the material, and in this position white played the move a3. This is no mistake, don't get me wrong, but I guess the better move for white would have been e3. Game could continue, for example, with knight takes e5, knight takes e5, knight takes e5, bishop e2, castling, and d6. And if you want to know more about this variation, I would advise you to check out the game Eiserner vs. Schorsch played in 1993. And yeah, that's it about the variation. Let's go back to the game. In our game, white played the move a3, and as I already told you, there's nothing wrong with this move, but it gives black the option to set a trap. And black played the move knight g takes e5, and this already sets a trap. And in the game, white fell for the trap and played the move a takes b4. What will happen after this move I will show you soon enough, but before, of course, I have to show you what white should have played. What white really should have played is the move knight takes e5, and after knight takes e5, e3, bishop takes d2 check, queen takes d2, d6, bishop e2, castling, and b6. We reach a position with a slight advantage for white, but it's fairly playable for black. Black's next moves will be bishop to b7 to gain control over the long diagonal. Then he will play a move like a5 to gain a little bit more grip on the queen side and stop potentially b4 breaks. And then he will try to reroute his knight, probably by going knight to d7 and knight to c5. So I would say, yeah, white got a slight advantage due to the fact that he got some space advantage and he got bishop pair. But of course, it's a playable position and a position that was reached quite often in Grandmaster levels. So if you want to know more about this position, I would advise you to check out my Lichess study. You will find a link to my Lichess study down below in the video description, so just check it out. And there you have the option to click on a book symbol known as opening book and table base. And if you click it, you will find some Grandmaster games that reach this position. So just check it out if you are interested in this position. Anyway, in the game, white played a big blunder. 8 takes b4. And if you're not already seeing what will happen in this position, I would advise you to pause the video and try to figure out what's black's best move in this position. I give you 3 seconds to pause the video if you need to. 1, 2, 3. Well, I hope you all found the solution. If not, I'll give you a little hint. It's mate in 1 by black. So with this hint in mind, I give another 3 seconds to pause the video if you need to. 1, 2, 3. Well, I hope you all found the solution. The right move is knight to d3, checkmate. Beautiful mate. And believe it or not, but I checked my database and this exact position appeared 79 times in over-the-board games in my database. And I also checked out the Lichess database, and believe it or not, but this position was reached 2,500 times in Lichess online games. So it's a quite famous trap that can work, especially in blitz games, right? So yeah, I just want to show you one last little trick. In this position, I told you that it's a better move to take the knight on e5, right? And after knight takes e5, even here the trap could work. I found 9 over-the-board games where white really played the blunder, a takes b4. But after knight d3 mate, we see again what could have happened earlier as well. So yeah, I hope you liked today's video. I hope you learned something. And if you did, please let me know in the comments. And don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button. So see you next time when it's again time to checkmate.